Life feels like one big juggling act. We're supposed to go to work for 8 hours, sleep for 8 hours, and still have a social life while doing all these crazy things. It's hard to do all that. However, I felt like I got a good balance of that, being able to go surfing on the weekends, getting my job done, and still having time to go to church, hang out with friends, and do all these crazy things. So I'm Wesley, an executive assistant and executive coach, and in today's video, I want to help you make time for everything. Life is so crazy, but I have these tools that I want to share to help you do all the things you want to do. So the first tip I have is to create an ideal calendar. So back in 2021, when I got my current job as an assistant, I bought this book called The Leader Assistant. I wanted a hand manual to help me do a good job at work, so I bought this book from Amazon, and there's this tool called the Ideal Calendar. And what it is when you're working with an executive or even yourself, you want to create the perfect week. And I'm using Google for this example of finding the times when you want certain meetings, certain activities to be done throughout the day, and scheduling them in. So when I'm working with my executive, for example, I tend to have meetings with headquarters in the morning. It just works with the time difference, and any one-on-ones, put them in the afternoon because they're in the same time zone, they're in person. And Thursday, Fridays, I tend to push out meetings to clear it up just to do focus work. And that's the ideal calendar, is visualizing everything, putting on there. So that way, when you're going out through your daily life, you can see and audit yourself that, is this the way I want to be working? If a meeting's popping up in the afternoon when it should be in the morning, push it back to the morning. And if you want to block off 2 hours so that you can get all your work done, block it off. And I know for me, I put that focus time, that 2 hour chunk in the morning, because that's when I'm in the zone. I know for me, I feel the most aware and awake in the morning to get stuff done out. I know when I have 1 p.m. meetings, I'm just so tired. There's an afternoon crash. My body crashes after 12, and I'm just so dead. I am not involved in those meetings. And that's why I tend to push those meetings out to the morning, get them out the way. And in the afternoon, I'm just able to do whatever I want. But having this ideal calendar helps you visualize how you should be spending your time. And that was a great tool for me, and it's a great tool for my executive. And it helps me triage certain meetings coming in and determine if they're worth putting them where they are at that spot. The next tool that I use is called the Eisenhower Matrix. And it's named after the President Eisenhower, but I took this from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And in this matrix, it's a 2x2 grid. It's pretty much on the x-axis, it is the importance, and the y-axis is the urgency of a task. So it helps you triage your own tasks. So these 4 quadrants. So this matrix, it's used to triage your tasks because without it, it feels like you're constantly firefighting. Everything's a priority, but the problem is you can't get anything done is because you're constantly firefighting. However, with the Eisenhower Matrix, it helps you determine what things are important, things that help you in the long run, and are the actual true needle movers. There's this thing of productive procrastination, where you're doing work, but you're doing the work in the wrong areas, and you're not truly doing the work that moves the needle. And with the Eisenhower Matrix, it helps you visualize that. So the urgent and important things, these are the actual fires that you just need to get done right away, and they're the true priorities. The quadrant 2, this is the not urgent but important stuff. This is the long-term planning, the strategies, any tools, all the needle movers that are not urgent but are important. Quadrant 3 is the not important but urgent things. So most of this involves emails, people walking up to you saying, "Hey Wesley, I need something done. Can you do this for me?" And quadrant 4 is the not important and not urgent things, and those you can forget about. But sorting your tasks through these 4 quadrants will help you figure out what you need to do And most people spend their lives in quadrant 1 and quadrant 3. The urgent and important, and the urgent and not important. However, most of the things that will move the needle, that will make a huge difference, is in quadrant 2. And that's what I focus on, is quadrant 2 activities of doing certain tasks to help me get the stuff done. So that way I don't have to worry about it in the future. A quadrant 2 activity that I'm working on is this mass notification system. So we've been paying for it for half of this year so far, but we haven't been using it. And it's up to me to set up a training so that we can be used to the system and we can notify people in the event of emergency. We can text them, we can email them, we can Microsoft Teams them. So that way they're aware that there's something going on, communicate to everyone, and exit the building. So that's important for us to have because one time we had a power outage, there was just no electricity in the building, and we had to tell people to go home, but we couldn't do that because we had no internet. So we had to manually tell people to leave the building. But with a mass notification system, we can SMS everyone, tell them to go home, be fine. And that's something that I need to work on. It's a quadrant 2 activity, but it's these quadrant 2 activities that truly make a difference. And that's what we want to focus on. And how to make time for everything is being able to do the things correctly, do the good work, so that way you have more time to do free things. And the last tip that I have is time is relative. And what I mean by that is in The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, he talks about Einstein time. So he calls it Einstein time because, theory of relativity, time is relative. And time is what we make of it. We're not a victim of time. We are the source of time. And what he means by that is 60 seconds, right? You put your thumb 60 seconds on a hot stove, it's going to feel like an eternity. But 60 seconds spent time with your girlfriend, boyfriend, that's so short. The fact of the matter is they're both 60 seconds. And how we use those 60 seconds is how we spend our time. So people say like, oh, where did the time go? As I'm filming this, it's December. They're saying like, man, 2025 went so fast. But oftentimes it flies by so fast is because we're doing forgettable things. And this is why I want to make time for everything, is by doing all the good work that you need to do so you could set yourself up and do all the things you want to do after work as well. And I've been able to do memorable things throughout this year. Go to Lassen Volcanic National Park, Glacier National Park, be with my friends in SoCal, and do all these fun, cool things that I can say that I've had a solid 12 months because of it. And it's not because I'm doing forgettable things, but it's because I'm making time to do the memorable things. So time is relative. We are the source of time. We're not a victim of it. So these are 3 short tips to help you make more time in your life by creating this ideal calendar so that way you can visualize and audit your life, by organizing your task in a way to help you figure out what the quadrant 2 activities are, the important stuff that you need to do, and seeing that time is relative, that you're the source of time, not a victim of it. So thank you so much for watching. And if you're interested in taking that to a next step of developing your productivity, of balancing your life, getting those 10 plus hours of your time back, you can click down below to apply to my coaching program, and I can help you, work with you to getting those hours back. So thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.